with a pick and look super broken. And then they go on the red side, and it's their first ban. They're like, no.
Yeah.
We know how strong this pick is. We aren't letting you first pick it. We'll see if that's how it pans out here. Or maybe T1 just decide to get rid of it themselves. They're banning away the TF, so regardless of how things play out, will be a different pick for Guma.
I think that's a mental victory as well, because Jiwoo actually looked great on the Twist of Fate, and Gumayusi just came off a loss on it, and then you see it banned, and you're like, ah-ha-ha. There it is. But TF and Smolder, both of them just taken away.
Yeah, I guess I just return into their Game 1 bans. Let them play the Smolder for me, a little fun Game 2. Won't let it happen again. And actually, Zeus so fully targeting Jiwoo's pool. A lot of respect here.
Yeah. But a lot of things still left available, right? Like, the Senna is up, Varus is up, Lucian's up. Like, the bottom lane still has all of the champions we're used to seeing. It's just the Jiwoo champions, I guess, on this patch are just being banned away.
I guess this is probably just a Senna first pick in this situation. And now, I mean, Jiwoo's definitely a player who I feel like has the champion pool. Isn't going to struggle too much from this, but can they bring something out that gives them the same level of success as that previous game? And the problem is, if this game goes late, you're up against a Senna, which is obviously very problematic.
Yeah, and we saw Nautilus actually banned in the last game. Peter had a great game on it in Game 1. Well, a great early game, and then the mid-game was a little bit rough. But if he ups the consistency, I think it looks good. It's once again the blind Talia from Call Me.
I mean, he's had such a good performance. I feel like if aim broke, don't fix it.
I think the Karma is probably a good choice here for Faker as well. I wouldn't mind if he went back to that. He was pretty good.
Yep, seemed like he had a decent time in the matchup and was getting so much value in those skirmishes. Gonna early pick up the Tom though, so wanting that safety net for the backline, not wanting to see how things play out and go for the Ornn.
Yeah, last time it was the Lee Sin that was picked up second round, and the Hui was also locked relatively early in this draft, and it is once again going to be what they opt in for.
Yeah, so this is kind of problematic because now you have this composition with such long range and power combined with the
just do it.
Tahm Kench.
Oh, I would like it if Jiwoo played his amazing Nilo.
No, cool. I feel like he's just showed like every AD carry in the game.
Yeah.
Hard to comment on them. And then it ends up being the Varus, you know, which has a lot of versatility. Obviously, able to match the range if it's going the poke Varus or some of these champs, but that'll really depend how the compositions pan out.
And actually, I don't think it will be poke Varus. I think most of the time when we see it with Nautilus, it is the on-hit version. And they will have a fair bit of consistent damage with that. I don't mind it at all, but
I just think it's hard to play into Hui.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to exist and stand there auto-attacking stuff.
True.
Shooting a Q from 3 miles away kind of matches the Hui vibe. So we'll see how it ends up panning out. Regardless, we see the Udyr banned away from Dunder, which is obviously
I wonder why they banned the Gnar.
Yeah.
Weird.
Also, K'Sante's still open, Vi's still open, which Sylvie had such a fantastic game on. But obviously, the Tahm Kench, I think, is probably enough of a mitigating factor to discourage the Vi from Sylvie, but...
Ooh, this is actually really cool, though, because now they'll get either the Vi or the K'Sante, or both, I guess, as this has to be a K'Sante pick, right? For Dundun?
I don't
Give him something that he's not going to struggle with?
Because the thing is, I'm not sure how scared you would be off Zeus taking K'Sante, because as much as K'Sante is really strong, it's less problematic than some of the other picks that he could take that would opt you. So I think kind of pick makes sense. They're going to go for the Vi again. So obviously, the Tahm Kench is fantastic against the Vi, but you can just target the Tahm Kench. And it looks like Zeus might just go for the K'Sante, which again, like, you get K'Sante, it's pretty great. But if they do go for that, it's less scary than if Zeus had like the Gnar pick, which just kind of ran over the game.
I mean, I don't know, because I've seen K'Sante's...
K'Sante will always K'Sante, but Zeus Gnar, I mean, I know the Gnar's banned, but a pick like that is very scary.
I think it's all scary, to be honest. So we'll just have to see what can happen in the play from Dundun to make it work.
This feels like the sort of situation where Dundun's going to bring something like Garen out. I don't know why. It just kind of feels like that vibe.
Oh, I want it though.
Do you?
I want
it real bad. The last Garen that we saw, I'm not sure.
I mean, you flip the name upside down, and you flip the result upside down as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I hope
from doo-doo to Dundun, from a loss to a win. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bit of a weird one they go for the Nocturne here. So I feel like, you know, as much as they had the long range, safe backline,
Oh, that's not Garen.
It doesn't really fit in with the Nocturne who wants to be diving in, but they do obviously have long-range follow-up abilities with the Senna and the Hui. And Dundun's thinking of just going for the Poppy, which isn't the Garen.
It's not Garen, but it will be Poppy.
Honestly, probably a bit more of a stable pick than the Garen.
What about Vital?
We've had one LCK game ever of Garen, and I'm going to be real, it kind of stunk.
I also, I don't know whether we're going to have another one, which is a little bit of a shame.
Is it?
I think it is, because I really like Garen.
You know, give it another 14 years.
We'll see whether he does get reworked or something.
You know, yeah, I'm sure they'll do something. Maybe they said they're going to make Runans available for melee soon, so maybe you'll be able to ult and 3 ults will come out, you know.
Whoa.
Who knows?
Or spin and like 3 Garens come out.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Whoa, that'd be the best.
Every time you spin, there's just more Garens.
yeah. Until you've just got a full team of Garens and you're actually like basically playing StarCraft instead of League of Legends.
That's the goal. That's definitely the strategy.
Yeah, and we'll see whether StarCraft 1 only 12 units can be in there, so you actually need to create control groups of Garens in the game, and you attack move them into different lanes. Oh, glorious.
And the Garen universe is really taking off.
It's really popping off. In my head, it entirely exists in HD.
I'm not going to lie, Max, sometimes I just feel like, you know when you like get a view into someone's head, I could just see a Garen spinning around.
That's basically it, yeah. That's the entirety of it. It explains a lot, to be honest. And we'll just have to see whether T1 will just do it once again, where it's just the 2-1. They have the blip, and then they take down Nongshim, or whether it's the other timeline, whether Nongshim Red Force are able to take advantage of a T1 preparing for a telecom war and just beat them in Game 3. Let's jump onto the rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are. Players making their way out onto the rift. Is that the more goth-vibed Poppy? It is. It's a bit of an old skin, but I like it. It's a goodie. Is that Blacksmith Poppy? I think that's the one. I don't know. After a rework, it's harder for me to recognize.
Yeah, it's really hard to know. I'm still not over what they did to Lollipoppy.
Do you think it's a bad thing or a good thing to not give everyone nightmares?
I think it's a bad thing. I think that was an iconic skin.
It was, defindery. The splash art, though, is the main thing that I'm bothered by.
The splash art's the main thing,
like,
yeah.
The splash art was so scary.
I think in game it's better than the splash art.
And when someone has like a toaster computer as well, and you're looking at that splash art for like 15 minutes before you get into the game, oh god.
We deserve like a RP payout for that, I'm going to be honest.
No, seriously. I actually I almost lost every single one of those games. Like, if the loading screen's too long, I just know that it's over.
Yep.
It's just doomed.
That was the old school strategy. Just have toaster PC and run Lollipoppy every game.
I actually had a friend who had a Poppy-only account who got to Challenger, or the equivalent of Challenger when there wasn't a Challenger because it was a very long time ago, and he didn't have a great computer. So I think, and he played Lollipoppy every game. So maybe that's actually what he did. It was just all psychological damage.
He knew the strat.
Yeah, it's beautiful. As Dundun throwing bucklers around and having a pretty good time. As you can see here towards the top side of the map, doing just fine. And Steadfast Presence going to be pretty powerful into the Cassante. Especially?
Yeah, I think, look, as much as I'm still in two minds about this, because yes, giving T1 Cassante is generally a bad thing, but I just feel like this lane's not going to be, it's going to be a lot more stable. I think having a stable lane for Dundun is more important than not playing into Cassante, which is a hard sell, but I'm standing by it.
We'll just have to see whether it works out, because you could be a genius at the end of this one.
Yeah. You know, if Nongshim win, I'm a genius. If T1 win, I'm not, which is not good odds.
It's not great odds, no. But wait, let's just say if Dundun does decently well in lane after the first 15 minutes.
Still not great odds. I'm going to be...
Well, I mean, it is right now.
It's
4 times the CS.
Yeah.
Cut the video.
Yeah.
Cut the video now.
You know,
the wave just got to his turret.
We can make the statement. We can leave.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yep.
And it's a Nocturne, so I doubt there's going to be that much jungle pressure going towards the top lane. Generally speaking, probably just going to be farming towards level 6. Call me, don't die.
He's getting reminded of just how unfun it was last time around, as there is the Jaws, and he just gets solo killed.
Man, I told him not to die. I even said.
And Faker had flashed extraordinarily early in that play. Like he decided he was killing Call Me no matter what.
Oh no, he decided like a minute and a half ago.
Yeah, I think so. As Gumayusi, he's also probably dead. Does have to flash to get himself out of the way. And now Keria is just licking Jiwoo over and over again.
That's not okay.
No, it's not. Not very fair at all. As Peter taking a fair bit of damage off the back end. And after that, after it looking like Gumayusi was just dead, T1 kind of win the trade outside of losing a flash.
Yeah, Nongshim trade up in sums, but the sustain coming in from the center Tom definitely outvalues. And you know, we no longer have the safety net of the Tahm Kench early, being able to gobble up before level 6. But one of the concepts that still applies to the center Tahm is that if you focus the center, the Tahm is so strong, if you're just sitting on top of him, you have to respect it. You can see Jiwoo is so afraid to step up, concerned that Nocturne could be lying in wait.
And he kind of was. They just have so much vision towards this bottom side of the map, as you can see. Scattered with wards throughout the river. And that's why Nongshim just pressured out of the way. Zeus, certainly having a rough time.
It's actually getting, I was going to say,
just buckling.
Ooped, but I guess it's a poppy, so getting popped, you know?
Having a roughie.
Yeah. Dundun's just something else.
I don't know what it is. It's like every loss makes him more powerful. We're going to have a look at this.
To place his level, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and you can see Faker just very clearly waits for the last moment to flash the, what's it called, the seismic shove, and then patient with the cooldowns.
Yeah, just QQs.
He just knew.
Picks it up, not too bad at all. And so Call Me limps back to lane, and is going to see whether he can, I mean, he still has a decent advantage as far as CS, which is nice, outside of the fact that Faker does have a wave coming towards his turret, but not the end of the world. But still, a way that gets too far ahead is really difficult to do anything about, just because he gets to hit you and you can't hit him.
Yeah.
That's a flash lick, and an Abyssal Dive to come on forward as well. The Fear Tether has come on through, and Call Me is really dead. Jiwoo tries to help out as the Dredge Line is going to connect to the wall for Peter, but Dustbringer is down. Oner is a little bit extra speedy. Another Abyssal Dive. That's going to get the flash out this time around as Keria might have overstepped, but there's the Faker damage flying on through the Tongue Lash. Just barely not catching the backside of the Nautilus. And Nongshim will have to deal with their mid laner dying yet again.
Yeah, and loving the confidence from Keria. He knows Call Me has no flash. Soon as the Tongue Lash lands, confident to go for the play. And seeing a lot more action already than we really got from the Milio game.
Yeah. And I think Keria is just celebrating the fact that he's not playing Milio again. Yeah. I think that it really does go against his style. There's quite a few players here in the LCK that we're just like, prefer not to see the Milio.
If your style is winning, then Milio goes against at the moment. Because I think before that game, he was like 1-9. I think it was on 14.2, he's 1-9. So if you add that on, 1-10.
Not great.
Not looking hot.
And it's been, you know, a few barrel games, a few execute games, and now Keria. I think these are players that want to be going in, and that's exactly what Keria has just done.
That play was actually risky, because if Peter was ready for it, he could have interrupted the Abyssal Dive, but you can see that just like no one on Nongshim expects a play like that.
Okay, Dundun and Zeus going aggressive. The all-out comes through once again, and now Dundun throws another buckler. He needs to get onto the shield. Well, he doesn't really. Oh, the flash forward! He finds the Q, and it's a solo kill for Dundun. Now he'll take a victory lap and head into the death chamber, but the damage has been done.
I just can't understand this player. Game 1, he just gets absolutely massacred. Game 2, he has a really solid game, mostly with help from Sylvie, though, to be fair. But Game 3, he just solo kills Zeus like nothing. On Cassante as well, this champion we think of as being immovable. Well, the only thing that's immovable here is Dundun's mental.
Absolutely, and that has always been the case. But I was not expecting a solo kill, I tell you that much. Drake now going to be secured here by Nongshim. And there will be some grubs going over to Oner. He has 2 kills as well, having been able to pick up the lockdown of Dundun. So it's not like, I think T1 are still in a great position in this game, but I'm just so proud of Dundun, man. I think that you cannot not like this player. I swear to God, you just can't. Because he can have that game number 1 and it just looks terrible as, okay, we've got a cease and desist coming through onto Faker here as Sylvie tanks the turret for way too long. He's just dead and it's another 1-for-1.
You know, this feels like a bit of deja vu.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you need 4 people, but actually last time they brought 4 people and someone died then as well, yeah.
I think you just have to accept you're going to have to give someone up if you want to make it happen. And Zeus just very disrespectful, walks towards the wall. The ult does give him enough power.
Interruption.
Yeah, it does look tense for Dundon after he takes that Q3. But just ends up getting the value out of the buckler. And here, the W used by Zeus means he stays on the Q.
Yeah. So it was, I don't think that would have affected the 1v1. Okay. But he was just letting him know that he does have the 6. So not end of the world, as we're going to check this out one more time, man. Like, Faker is just playing extraordinarily well today, but Sylvie tanking 2 turret shots was suboptimal.
The main thing is he got the root off onto Sylvie. So one of Wave's abilities, you know, you can put this little field down that when you walk in range. Oh.
Yeah, you can see Zeus opting in for it one more time. Steadfast presence, pretty powerful. And Zeus going to realize that that's not going to work out. As okay, Sylvie gets a bit of a jump scare. Blocked, not able to get over the wall. Feared and dead. Faker's Way is now 3-1.
Yeah, and it seems like Oner was a little bit upset with the outcome of the previous game. Wants to get some revenge on Sylvie.
Yeah, and it worked out. And Sylvie just going headlong into a brush and not really liking what was in it.
Only a spooky champion to find in a brush. I feel like Fiddlestick's also up there.
Oh, wrong skin though. He's not playing Spooky Nocturne.
True.
Really like that one. Was that the first Hallow's End? I think it might have been.
Maybe?
Oh no, no it wasn't. It was the second one.
How do you remember this?
I liked Spooky Nocturne.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm just, you know, I can't really place, like, I know there's skins I like, which are like Halloween ones, but I can't place which Halloween.
I know that because I always regretted not getting the... Okay, never mind. Here is the cease and desist into the flick back. And can Faker get a kill this time? The answer is no. This time, he's not close enough to the turret. So Sylvie is going to be able to help Colmy get himself a kill. And that's 2 now for the Talia, kind of getting back into the game.
It feels like a good strategy. Go mid, press R on Faker, and then kill him. That generally seems like a good one for Sylvie to keep executing on. Picked up some kills there.
And Faker actually didn't have an opportunity to splash there either.
Nope, it was really well played by Sylvie. Here, yeah, just an unfortunate one. And you can see Oner's trying to create issues by getting into a body block position, but unfortunately Sylvie just kind of wants to queue before the fear takes place and doesn't get over the wall.
Yeah, Vault Breaker flash. Not a whole lot that Faker can do here.
Yeah, call me a little late with the E, but main thing is getting the seismic shove in time, so still fine.
Yep. Beautifully done. Chance of corruption here towards the bottom side of the map is now Keria going to have to flash. Gets out of the way there. Faker's very low as Colmy just eats the ultimate. Dawning Shadow does keep Faker alive. I don't know quite what happened there, but Colmy definitely finding a really good combo.
Yeah, can't go for more, can't look for more action there just because Oner having the ult makes him a big threat.
All right, Dundun and Zeus fighting.
It's kind of turned on its head.
This is intense, man. T1 still have a gold advantage, but 1,000 gold. I mean, what does it really mean? I guess they're the team that has the Hui and the Senna, which is going to mean the late game is going to feel pretty good.
I honestly think based on the CS difference, it might just be the majority of the leads in the jungle.
I think you might be right. And Hexplate already done here for Oner. And if you can see the amount of items completed by Sylvie, that would also bode it ill for that jungle matchup.
Having the Hexplate and having the 80 kills, so you have ultimate hunter stacks, you're going to have access to that ult really frequently, which is problematic in this game, especially when you have a lot of power and picks for Nongshim, you know, playing around the clear wall, around the Vi, around the Nautilus. Nocturne is going to constantly be a threat. You're not going to have any windows where the ult is unavailable.
Yeah. All right. Zeus and Dundun just hitting each other with abilities and things. Once again. And Faker clears that a wave. Colmy shoves over towards him, and I think Colmy's in a good spot right now. Able to threaten side lanes pretty consistently with the fact that his wave clear is really online. But you can see T1 also playing aggressively. Not going to find the chains of corruption, but it doesn't matter. The center just explodes. Oner tries to get into the back line, but Peter's there with the dredge line, and Chiwu is just raining arrows down onto T1. They're in the equalizer. The flash forward. The seismic shove, and Peter's landing hooks all over the place. Nongshim, they crush them.
Oh, Nongshim just the best team in the LCK?
I think they might be the best team in the world.
They look so cracked there. Honestly, so well played. Okay, Jiwa missed the ult. That's the only mistake. I'll give that one. But everything else, they look for the engage. They get on the right targets, and the peel comes in. Everyone doing exactly as they needed to do, and a 4-for-0 into a dragon take. That's going to replay. So the ult's a little bit ambitious from Jiwoo, but they get the lockdown, and bear in mind the Tom isn't here yet. So they kill the center, they get the peel on the Oner just as the fear comes in. Keria gets, and then watch Peter here. So the ult comes in onto Faker and then flashes to get a triple knock-up.
That's so sick. Anyway, Dundun and Zeus are now fighting as he just stands there. Steadfast presence says absolutely not. You are going nowhere, and the Dawning Shadow doesn't do enough.
It was just a stand-up, both of them just kind of posturing, and the puppy won.
Oh. And now another hook is going to land, and is it happening? I think it's just happening. Keria thought that he was going aggressive, but instead he was going to his grave. Oh, never mind. He's Tom Kench. He just eats the great health, and he should be all right. Oner going to try and get himself out of there. Speaking of getting out of there. Yeah, and he actually took the arrow, but it just didn't do quite enough damage. And okay, there's Paranoia, and now we're back to T1 finding themselves some picks, although Sylvie kind of here, but maybe he is just more food, as he does have to flash, get out of the way, Vault Breaker as well to avoid.
Way's still a problem, and I think it was Faker who got that 700 gold shut down, so... Not great.
Right, well, Nongshim still have a slight gold lead.
Oh.
And Peter pressed R. That was cool. And Abyssal Dive going to come on through here. So Peter doesn't have flash. He's going to get gobbled up and spat at towards the turret. Does find himself a hook. And Jiwoo just not enough damage to actually do too much there, as the health actually is going to go back. The shield is gone onto Keria, and Jiwoo just stands his ground, able to fire back. And now Weaver's Wall to come in. Oh, he's actually interrupted. Still, the turret is going to go down, but not before Faker gets in here. Gets the flash out from Jiwoo there. I think if he was caught by those jaws, he was dead. Colmy finds another seismic shove. This guy's Talia. Like, you understand why they're blind picking it. Even though he gets solo killed in lane, it has been very useful.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, rough moments. I think there have been rough moments throughout this series for Nongshim, but they are really giving us a fight on this one. It's been such a chaotic game as well. Just fights erupting everywhere. No real break in the combat. I swear I have an edge, but it's razor thin.
It is, and the result of this game, in my mind, doesn't matter for Nongshim fans. They've already won.
Yep.
They've just already won. This team they're playing so incredibly well, and they've shown us that they have this. Like, this game is possible for this team.
Please don't just play like this against T1 and then no one else. You know, and that's what everyone wants, is for Nongshim to continue this level of play beyond the series. And in this game.
You remember week 1. They came out of the gate and they were first place, Orcs. They were first place.
They started so strong.
And then it all kind of went downhill from there. But if they manage to find this, if this is going to be the answer.
I mean, we saw the graphic after the last game that they showed on the space where,
bit of a hook connecting here. Gets knocked up as well as the Paranoia comes in. Good flash from Keria to make the overcommit happen, as Cease and Desist is going to be spell shielded by Oner beautifully. And now Zeus, he's looking for an all-out angle. Let's see if he can find one there as he pulls in the Poppy. And I don't think that Dundun's going to be able to survive. Well, he will survive for a very long time, but he is still dead. And that kill goes over to Gumayusi. T1, they find their pick, and they even out the gold.
Yep, Colmy wasn't there, did have the ult, but opted just to get some pressure on the tower. Not sure if the ult was actually available at the start of that fight.
I imagine Dundun was calling pretty early on, like, I will sacrifice myself, just save yourselves. As Abyssal Dive is going to land onto Jiwoo, taking a lot of damage there as well. Devour going to be used aggressively. Oner taken down extraordinarily low as, he spat out on top of the Nocturne, and he's able to get the arrow off, but still it's a double kill for Faker. Colmy is now trying to find the seismic shove, but he won't get a good hook from Peter though. But Keria, can he stay alive? Yes, he can, because he's Tom Kench. He's practically immortal. And the Tongue Lash going to get the stun onto Peter, as now Dundun, he's back in the battle, but there are just not enough teammates to keep him alive. And a whole minion wave is going to crash into this inner turret on the bottom side of the map. It is chaos, and T1 are coming out on top.
Yeah, out of nowhere, they picked up gold lead, and this was really unfortunate. Dundun's stun just is a little bit late. The flash comes in from Keria, the turnaround's there, and it just kind of erupts into chaos. I feel like the main takeaway is the amount of value Faker's getting here.
Yeah.
Gets the long-range Q there on 2 targets, and you know, he just keeps pumping out damage, and he keeps picking up so many of these kills over the course of this passage of play.
It's ludicrous. We're going to have a look at the re-engage once again, as Keria just always finds an engage angle.
Guys, we can't do replays. There's fights every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we really can't, as there's the despair connecting, but it's not going to be the end. In the picture-in-picture, guys, the replay is the thing that we saw before. And Call Me, not going to be enough, as Faker just going to paint it.
7 kills now on this way.
901. 901 was the game. 900, it was almost the game, and he almost did it by himself. But now, 901, I mean, this post-900 games Faker is pretty good.
He's turned over the century, and he's like, you know, new century, new me.
Yeah. I'm just going to be the greatest that there ever was at throwing out a million abilities
definitely
and
a new
people dying.
For Faker.
Do you know, ever since he crested that century, he's built Horizon Focus.
Every game,
It's crazy. See how long he can keep it up for. As Call Me has decided that split pushing is going to be the way, because he just probably wants to get as far away from Faker as possible.
I just feel like Nongshim as a team this series have had so much killer intent.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever Guma just decides to exist, they're not happy with that.
No. They took personal offense to it, I think.
Yeah.
As Dinder throwing bucklers around, pressing Q, and just
like
interrupting and things.
I feel like it literally achieves nothing, right?
Yeah.
But he'll still do it anyway.
And he sends a message.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you tried to dash?
Don't dash
See,
on
you
my
can't
watch,
do that.
You know, no fun allowed when I'm about.
That's illegal.
At least when they're trading, you can justify it with grasp stacks, you know?
Yep. I wonder how long it's going to take Dundun to build a Rookan as well, because I feel like this game, it's also a pretty good idea
in fact,
to have
I would
some magical
honestly
resistance.
say even more so this game. Like last game, the Karma was doing a lot, but not so much to Anudia, I feel. Still
Maybe he just read the patch notes, and it said Rookan was nerfed, and he's like, oh, well, I guess I shouldn't ever build that item again.
Yeah, I think until they say Rookan removed, I think it's safe to say he's still going to be pretty good.
Or maybe if it was 5%, or 6% less instead of the 2%.
Yeah, 2%.
It really does feel a little bit like, see guys, we nerfed it, but actually nothing really.
Yeah, still has the highest MR in the game.
Yeah. And you get to double dip on it because you get a shield.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Nongshim do have some vision set up. That is going to be removed pretty quickly. Still with this ward in the barrel of the carbine.
This feels scary.
It does. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Call Me can set up a wall whenever he would like. Oh, the secure on the red buff. Nongshim nailing it. They grab it for everyone. Gorgeous.
That's the real victory here. That's what we're playing for.
Yep. Oh, no, but the Raptor. And now Oner might also be in trouble. He does have a spell shield for one of the many things that was flying his way. That seismic shove wasn't going to land anyway. Another wave pushed towards the outer turret here in mid lane. I just feel like Nongshim did have that moment, but I don't know when it gets better, right? Like, I feel like it only gets worse and worse and worse for them as this game goes on, with this Hui scaling up, and the more the Senna finds relevance as the game continues, it's going to be so much more difficult. Nongshim don't seem to care or know that is the case, though. They are going to continue to try and find these fights, try and find these red buffs where they can get them.
Yeah, I think Nongshim really are this team who just unfazed. They will keep looking for fights, even if it gets to the point where this Hui and Senna become really big problems, because that's all they know how to do is fight.
Yeah, and look, they can't be a problem if they're dead. And so if you go in and you kill them, then it can be mitigated. Keria, of course, does exist.
Playing the Vi and just going to punch Hui and being like, outscale this.
I do like that. Just don't know whether it's going to be a possibility, as Jiwoo does complete the Ginsu's Rage Blade.
Yeah, and actually, you know, there are a lot of tankier targets in T1. Once Jiwoo gets sufficient items, he will start to shred through even the bulkier targets.
Yeah.
Call Me, don't fall for it.
Oh, I'm a bit afraid. I'm a little bit afraid. Oner is looking menacing, and I don't think that Call Me is going to fall for it. So there you go. Throws a bunch of rocks and is going to exit the lane. Nicely done. A lot of red vision towards this bottom side of the map. You can see Nongshim really wanting to get themselves towards this soul point.
A Hextech Soul would be very helpful.
I feel like that would be a powerful soul to have, yes.
Yep. King's coming out. They know Kolmi's on the top side, but Kolmi does have TP.
Yeah, Weed as well there as well. So if he is a little bit later to the fight, actually can work out quite nicely. As Sylvie playing very far up, much as he likes to do. And Faker just takes a Hex Gate and just walks at him, yeah.
Okay, Kolmi can reset if needed.
He has been in side lanes a lot. He's accrued a 40 CS advantage. Oh, the fear comes in, and Sylvie, the unending despair, he flashes into the brush, will survive from, oh my goodness. Very close to his fall.
Oh,
and his Dawning Shadow snipes him. No vision, no problem, and Gumayusi is going to get rid of the jungler, and that should mean 2 dragons apiece.
I think that might have been the Horizon Focus vision.
Oh, true.
I mean, I'm not sure it was available right at the end, but I think it gave enough vision that he knew where Sylvie had started recalling or close to it.
All right, Faker gonna find the jaws onto Jiwoo, and there he goes. Oner launches underneath the turret and does not care about it. A Devour comes through onto Dundun. Keria, I don't think, liked the taste of that and is going to move himself back. Dundun pretty tanky right now, but Kolmi running out of health bar. And now Peter looks for the hook angle, doesn't quite get it, and look at Faker. He's just standing back, raining hell down on Nongshim. There's the snipe. This champion is not okay, Ox. He just isn't. A hook is going to connect. It looks great from Peter, but I think he might just be dead. There's the double, the flash lick from Keria. And that is the turret falling down as well. Sylvie not going to be able to do anything, and even gets knocked up here as more... Of course, Faker has another ability for him. And he will be taken down. That's a kill going over to Zeus. And T1, they wipe Nongshim off the map, and they're looking for Baron.
On the back of Faker. No other way to spin it.
Nope.
Game 2, he was on form the Karma, but it wasn't enough. Game 3, he's on the way. He's the one scaling up to be a monster, and he has just completely dominated Oner Jiwoo.
Oh, doesn't find the Q, but there's the all-out. And Jiwoo does have flash. He's just going to get back to farming underneath the turret. He's like, leave me alone, please. He will acquiesce in the end.
Faker just has so much confidence on this champ. Gets the damage combo. And wait, so you can see the vision mark above Sylvie's head. Still has vision, still has vision. Yep, sees it. So the Horizon Focus actually giving the vision, allowing Guma to snipe that, and Sylvie not realizing that he was still being spotted out there. And here, just a kind of disgusting damage.
How are you supposed to play the game?
The answer? You don't.
Oh. Black and white, like in grayscale?
As I said.
All right, I guess you just kill him. That's how you do it. You will die, though, and Faker gets his 10th of the game. Sylvie's also in trouble. This might be 11th, as he's down extraordinarily low. There it is. 11 kills. And T1, with their Baron in tow, are looking to try and break open the base. Where even was Faker throughout most of that? I feel like I know he was on the screen, so never mind. Balanced. It's fine. As Oner does go in very aggressively, and then Faker auto-attacks the Varus and he dies. Yeah.
Yeah, and now, you know, I wouldn't have thought they'd be able to end, but I'm honestly not sure with how strong Faker is. They could just siege the towers. They're not going to opt to do it, though. They're going to back away.
Yeah, and I say even, he does have a Rooken, does he? No, that's Zeus.
He has a Negatron Cloak, so a little bit of MR, but not a ton.
He's got a nice cape, but not quite enough. So Jiwoo now going to have to deal with super minions heading up the mid lane. It's going to take a lot of control away from Nongshim.
Things were getting a little bit silly.
Yes.
See, in the damage dealt, like I know it looks like Faker has done
the most
damage.
Yeah.
It looks like Jiwoo's not too far away, but I feel like a lot of the damage Jiwoo has done has been like pumping into Keria or or even Zeus. Whereas I feel like, I mean, there are tanks on the side of Nongshim, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it kind of just feels like Faker's just one-shot squishies for fun.
Yeah, and I mean, the result of Faker's large amount of damage is 11 kills in comparison to the 3 of Jiwoo. I guess that can give you some information. 122 stacks is a hell of a lot of stacks, Gumayusi.
Yeah, it's a good amount. Good amount. I feel like when we had the double support item center, we saw a lot less stacks in return for more farm, more levels.
Oh, is this the target you're looking for? Well, it doesn't really matter because Peter's going to hook it anyway.
Oh, they got through the shield. Okay.
Oh, nailed it.
They actually killed the Ruka shield.
Whoa, they almost did like 800 damage.
Yeah, it's going to be down for another 15 seconds actually, so that's a window.
Oh no, they almost did 400 damage. Never mind. I take it all back. Dundun is also relatively tanky. But he's laning one-on-one against a Tom Kench.
They're going to start again.
Oh, dear. Yes, Zeus is basically immortal. I think that's just how it is. He's able to dash himself out of the way. He'll be all right as Peter is just tanking damage. Faker is just launching missiles, and there is just no response. They can't do anything about it. Dawning Shadow flies in. That's going to be the Q back. All out from Zeus. He's getting underneath this turret. Look at the damage! And T1, they do not allow Nongshim to win Game 3s. Yes, a casual Game 2 here and there. But Game 3, this is T1 territory. They're going to set to work on these Nexus turrets. And they now have their eyes set towards the telecom war that's going to be coming up on Saturday. This one, I mean, there were some moments. And honestly, Nongshim had a great early game, but it was all T1 from about 15 minutes onwards, and it was just all Faker.
Yep.